A society to have order and to protect its citizens must have rules. Rules or laws are created and agencies are formed to enforce the rules. In the United States, you are innocent until proven guilty. Our judicial system, our courts, have the task of determining guilt. When guilt is found, the courts mete out the consequences. If we follow the rules of our society, we may never have to face the bar of justice inside a criminal courtroom. Join us now as we see an actual Lake County court in session.
I'm Judge Miller. Could all of you, including visitors, please raise your right hands? Do each of you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and this you do under the pains and penalty of perjury? Okay, you can put your hands down. Each of you has a right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. When you get to the microphone, I need to know if you're under 18. I need to know if you're not a citizen of the United States. Pleading today will affect your immigration status. I need to know if you're on probation or parole because pleading today could affect your probation or parole status. If you plead today, you're giving up your right to have a trial and to have an attorney represent you at that trial. If I sentence you today on a criminal case, then you have to go down to room 105 and either pay the mandatory costs or sign up for the payment plan. Today, we're being tape recorded and videotaped. All right, we're going to start with the in custodies. Haley McSorley. Ms. McSorley, you are charged with trespassing, and you're also in custody for a violation of probation. You are on probation for battery and a disorderly intoxication. Mr. Stevenson, does the state have a recommendation on both?
Yes, Your Honor. The state is seeking an adjudication of guilt for the trespassing. Of course, an admission of violation on the violation of probation. We'll be looking for 60 days in Lake County Jail. Probation revoked and terminated. All mandatory costs assessed.
So it'd be a total of 60 days for both cases?
Yes, Your Honor.
Probation's over?
Yes.
All right, Ms. McSorley, if you, let me see what the probation's saying. You'd already violated once and we reinstated you, and so...
That was an accident because I had a letter sent in that said I could be on the premises, so...
All right, this is going, offers 60 days,
Okay.
and it would take care of
Everything.
the rest of probation and the new case.
Okay. Does that include gain time, ma'am?
Yes, but it may or may not help you because you may have it on one case and not the other case. So yes, it will include credit for any time you've done.
Okay.
So we have a deal?
Yeah, one thing, you had offered me 40 days the last time when I spoke with you, when I had to leave quickly because I was like super dizzy.
We offered you 40 days, what last time?
I was downstairs on the camera.
Oh, an early intervention.
Is that
Yes.
what it was? Okay.
At bond hearings. They try to offer the best deals at early intervention to save it from coming on the docket and,
Okay.
all right, so they offered you 40 at early intervention?
Yes, you offered me 40.
Your Honor, we have that offer sheet here, and it's 60 days on that offer sheet as well.
It was 60 days?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, it's
60 days.
Okay, so we have a deal, 60 days,
60
concurrent
days.
probation terminated, yes?
60 days and then I'm done with everything.
Except for the mandatory costs.
Except for what?
The mandatory costs on every criminal
Oh, yeah, the
case.
273 plus and plus and plus.
Plus
Okay.
and plus and plus, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right,
But
thank you,
60
ma'am.
days.
60 days. Credit for any time you've served, except it'll be on some and not the other.
Does the credit start from the time I was incarcerated?
Could you, for the violation of probation, it's when you were served the warrant. Has she been served the warrant on the violation of probation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, from the time she was served the warrant.
Okay, that's when it is, okay, enacted.
All right, Dalton Strickland, please. Thank you for popping right up. Sure can.
Basically what has happened is I turned in my tag and somebody from the DMV or the tag office didn't tell Tallahassee that I turned in my tag. I have all the paperwork and I've already fixed it. I've got my license back. But I've had to take 2 days off because somebody else, decided.
You're Dalton C. Strickland.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the only reason I have that you're suspended is because juvenile court ordered you to be suspended in 2008 and you've never reinstated. Nothing to do with your tag.
Well, that's not what they told me at the DMV office.
Well, that's interesting, but could you show him his record, please? How old are you now?
19.
Okay. You never took care of juvenile court.
Never took care of juvenile court.
We'll see what you have to do to fix that, but that's the reason you're suspended.
So I just gotta show my license? Well, I've got everything fixed. I've had it fixed for months. I went to the DMV.
Okay, stop talking for a moment. Can I see his driver's license? Thank you. Well, something is definitely wrong.
Out of curiosity, when was that driver's license
I just
instated or issued?
Okay, shh. Okay, he got this in 2011, but according to the computer, he's been suspended since 2008. So both of these cannot be right.
I would
So
agree.
we're going to have to figure out what's going on here.
'Cause I looked it up yesterday, and it was still suspended on the DHSMV website, so something is definitely...
And can you please tell me, what's the actual, I know you said 2011, what's the actual date that he got that driver's license?
Actual date is 8/16/2011. And since then, he's gotten a driving with no license.
Well, is that the conviction date or the date?
On his driver's license, it said this was issued August 16th, 2011.
Sure, and
Now, how
he
did they issue?
does have a conviction after that, but the event that caused the conviction was
In May.
prior to that.
Ah, okay.
So I guess I would have to say if he was given what looks like a perfectly valid driver's license, either he's a very gifted counterfeiter engaged in an incredibly petty act of counterfeiting, or else he would have reason to believe he has a valid driver's license.
Yeah, so let's figure this out. And then he got a replacement this year, last week.
DHSMV still has this suspended on their website.
So why did they give him?
I don't... Something's
Okay,
wrong.
Miss Angie.
Your Honor, I guess I'm going to say
We're-
at this point, he's got some things he needs to figure out, but
We can call Miss Flossie and see if she can help us. So could you call Miss Flossie? And it still shows suspended here, and they've still given him, although, yeah, see if Miss Flossie can figure that out. Have a seat and we'll try to figure it out. PTI for this one, PTI. Stephanie Cougler, sorry. Miss Cougler, you're charged with driving while license suspended. This says you now have a valid driver's license. Good job.
Thank you.
You had a prior driving while license suspended last year. You turned in your license, or you got an ID card last year. You paid your child support, but you didn't reinstate on it.
Yeah,
Let me catch up. So the only reason you're suspended is because you never reinstated on the child support case. Do you have your valid driver's license now? And when did you get that?
I got it on the 31st of August.
Okay. It appears to me that when she paid her child support, they said, okay, we'll send the proof of this to the driver's license department and you'll be cleared up. But you still had to go, as you now know, and reinstate and get your card back. And you didn't do that until, what was that, last week?
Yes.
And you were supposed to do it a year ago. So you've been driving around for a year?
No, I haven't been driving at all.
Okay.
I drove the one time back in, I think it was October, and that's when I got my driving when license suspended, and since then I haven't drove.
You are charged with driving while license suspended August 4th, 2012.
Yeah, I did get pulled over, and
that's
both
why
of
you're
my
here.
license were reinstated, but I just didn't go to the DMV and get the hard copy.
Which is what I just said.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Right, so you've been driving around without a valid driver's license because you hadn't reinstated.
Only one time. Yes.
What?
Only one time, and I got pulled over.
You're here
Yes.
for getting caught on August 4th driving while your license was suspended because you had not reinstated. Okay, I think we're finished arguing about that.
I'm sorry.
Okay, state what's your recommendation. She has her full valid card now.
Your Honor, for this driving while license suspended charge, we would ask that she get an adjudication of guilt, pay $200, and commit no new crimes, all within the next 6 months. As long as she does that, that's the end of it. However, if she doesn't pay her $200, or if she does commit a new crime, then she would go to jail for 29 days.
It sounds appropriate, and if you get 3 of these within a 5-year period, Tallahassee will take your license for 5 years. This one is your second one within a 5-year period. All right, then you also have, oh, that's not you. All right, do we have a deal?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll need to print you. Susette German? State what's your recommendation on Miss German?
Your Honor, first of all, I just want to find out, how do we pronounce your last name?
German.
Okay, I've heard that last name pronounced all different ways, and I like to at least get people's names right. But German. And we're looking for an adjudication of guilt, 29 days in Lake County Jail. Now, that's suspended. You won't actually do the 29 days as long as you do the following within 6 months. Pay $200. Take an anti-shoplifting class. Go to the Goodwill Employment Program or show us proof that you have full-time employment. And don't go back to CVS. Don't commit any new crimes. As long as you do all of that within the next 180 days, you will not go to jail for 29 days.
Your Honor, I did not leave the store with anything.
Doesn't matter. Once you open the nail polish and use that, once you started concealing things,
I was waiting for my brother to come and pick me up, and I was gonna pay for the.
okay, you took items, you went into the restroom and concealed items, allegedly. They were in your hand when you went into the restroom, they were
I
not in.
just got from the hospital.
Okay, you're interrupting me.
I'm sorry.
I located the female near the pharmacy painting her toenails. Upon contact with her, I explained my reason. She immediately stated she did not conceal any items and she planned on paying for them. I requested to search her person. She stated she did not want me to touch her, but lifted her clothing. I did not observe any items in the area. She stated that the items were in a bag just outside the restroom. The manager stated that she asked the clerk at the register for a bag, which was provided to her. The items were located in a CVS bag near the restroom. There was also prescription medicine. I asked if she had any means to pay for the items. She stated she did not.
I was waiting for my brother to come and pick me up. I just got from the hospital. I had a seizure.
So how are you going to pay for those things?
I was waiting for my brother to come and pick me up. I was coming from the hospital up the street, and
$79.51 worth of stuff. I provided German an escort to the East City limit. She stated she would have her brother pick her up there due to her residing in Orange County. All right, you can say not guilty if you wish. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you.
Yes.
And we can let a jury decide whether it was appropriate for you to be using things before you paid for them at CVS.
what's the other recommendation?
Could you read the recommendation again?
Yeah, although I'd like to point out, it seems Ms. German does have a pending felony in Osceola. I don't know if this would affect that in any way.
apparently you have other charges pending elsewhere.
That's when they arrested me for that felony because I was in the hospital when I was supposed to go to court for the charges.
All right, I want
Bipolar.
to say, she would like to hear what the offer is again, and this could affect something to do with your felony, we don't know.
Well, all right. I'd like to speak to a lawyer.
Okay, we'll enter a not guilty on your behalf. We'll appoint the public defender. Could one of you please explain to her how she finds the public defender? All right, thank you, ma'am. Next, we're going back to Dalton Strickland. Did you get any information?
Well, go.
This is Dalton Strickland. Miss Angie called Miss Flossie, and
When he was a juvenile, they issued him a dummy record. His new DL has a 1. This one has a 0. They have not been combined. It was an error on their part. They're going to combine them. You're going to be suspended. You have to go reinstate. It's going to be $45.
I just paid
stop. He's going to be suspended for what?
Once they combine them for that juvenile, this one here,
Uh-huh.
they're going to combine them. He will be suspended. He has to pay for that suspension to be lifted. But he does have 2 records.
And Your Honor, not only that, he was technically driving on a suspended license. I can't even say it with a straight face. We're dismissing this. Don't.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Mr. Strickland, we're going to dismiss this. Let me finish.
I can explain it to you once we're done.
Okay, we're going to dismiss this one. And the problem is you had 2 driving records. You had the juvenile dummy record that ended in a 0, and then you had your new driver's license, which ends in a 1. So we're dismissing this one because how would you know? But you never, and how's he going to reinstate with the juvenile? What does he have to do to reinstate on that?
He has to pay $45.
Okay, that's with them. What does he have to do to clear up the record?
Nothing, just pay $45 at the DMV.
So the juvenile department doesn't need him to do a class or anything? All right, I'm sorry about the $45. Maybe, is there any way to get that waived?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay, could you get them back on the phone for me and let me see if there's any way to get around it because it's not his fault? Have a seat at the table. I'll try. I have no magical powers with
And
them.
just a reminder, there's also a failure to yield
Oh,
to a
thank you.
pedestrian.
Mr. Dalton, this will maybe even things out a little then. You were charged with failure to yield to a pedestrian in a crosswalk. The pedestrian had the signal, and that's a $166 ticket.
Right, but what happens if you have a green light at the same time the pedestrian's got a signal?
Shouldn't be able to be a green light for you if,
You could call that cop and ask him. My light turned green, I started going, and then the dude just kind of booked across the road. Next thing I know, I'm getting pulled over talking about you're supposed to yield. So,
okay, don't get a whole bad attitude on me
No,
now.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. And we're trying to help you here, and you're giving me attitude. Okay,
Yes,
try it again. All right, so you've got a green light, and this took place where?
on 441 right by, let me see how I can put, I'm not sure what the road's called.
And so this is somebody
There's-
trying
you know
to
the
cross?
Napa?
I'm sorry?
The Napa? It's like the
Right in Leesburg?
Yeah, right on 441 heading towards 27.
Okay, yeah isn't a good thing to say either, so. Yeah, I mean, we're working on your manners here, because you've heard us say earlier that people with good attitudes impress us, and we try to help them. So it's a little hard,
Aggravating me so much.
and you interrupted me. Okay? I can say, your problem, you go take care of it, or I can try to help you.
I appreciate you trying to help me.
But you don't sound like you appreciate it, you sound rude. So we're just working on your manners a little bit here. So this happened in Leesburg in front of the Napa store.
Napa Auto Parts, yes, ma'am.
And you were in a straight lane.
I was turning left.
So you had an arrow, you're saying?
Right. I had a green arrow. The cop was behind me. I started going with the green arrow. I got halfway around the corner. The dude wasn't even walking in the crosswalk. As soon as I pulled out and started to turn, he just took off running. I slammed on my brakes because I was fixing to hit him. He went by, I went on, I get pulled over, and the guy says, pedestrians always got the right of way. He said, but you seen me have the green light, sir. I mean, what am I supposed to do, sit at a green light? And he was
Well,
like,
rather than kill somebody, yes.
I'm saying he
Okay,
wasn't walking
excuse me.
across the...
I have false helmet.
Good morning. Hi, thanks for talking with me. I have Mr. Strickland who had, I think you just talked with Miss Angie about it. Okay, he just got his valid driver's license, and it's our fault he has 2 records. Is there any way, so he just paid to get a new card. Is there any way he can not have to pay to get a new card on this combination? Does he have to because he just paid for the other one? But didn't he pay $45 last time to reinstate? And it would have just been $145 to reinstate for each. I didn't realize that. Okay, that answers that question then. Thanks. Bye-bye. I didn't realize if you have more than one reason for being suspended, you have to pay $45 for each. So if they had caught it when you got your card originally, it would have still have been $45. She said they won't charge you a new $25 for the card.
I have to pay another $45.
And you would have had to pay that if they had caught it when they were supposed to have caught it.
Well, thank you for the help anyway. Appreciate you trying.
All right, on the failure to yield to a pedestrian. Pedestrian had a green signal. It's just not supposed to be possible that the pedestrian has a green signal and you have a green arrow.
I went when the traffic light turned green.
Well, I shall go and check that out. At this time, if you want to enter a no contest plea, I'll withhold and split the difference with you.
What do you mean withhold?
If you want to say not guilty, you can have a hearing. If you want to enter a no contest plea today, I'll withhold and you'll pay $83.
$3?
83. The ticket's $166. You can say not guilty.
I guess I'll just pay the $83. So I'm just trying to get my license back and get everything situated.
All right, so you're entering a no contest plea. I'm withholding points. The civil penalty reduced to $83. Penalty to be paid by March 5th, 2013. So you'll have 6 months to pay it.
All right.
Willie Ruben Mosby? Mosby is how you pronounce it? Mr. Mosby, you are charged with possession of marijuana. And we gave you a week to get a clean screen, right?
You haven't received the fax?
What?
You haven't received the fax? I went and took the drug test at Light Screen that Friday.
And then you faxed it to us?
No, she said she was.
Miss Fisher, could you talk with Mr. Mosby and see if we can get a copy of it? Mr. Mosby, turn around. Miss Fisher's with Livestream. Take all your stuff and go talk to Miss Fisher and she'll track it down. It was clean, I take it, or you wouldn't be so happy for me to see it. Right?
I sure hope so.
Arturo Carajal? Is that how it's pronounced? Carajal? Say it again?
Carbajal?
With a B?
Yes, with a B.
Then we have it misspelled. Okay, spell it for me again.
Carbajal.
All right, the charge appears to be a first offense, driving under the influence.
Yes, ma'am.
And your middle name is Rivas?
Yes, ma'am.
What's your birth date?
January 10th, 1990.
Yes. All right, if you enter a no contest plea today, we'd be sentencing you on a first offense DUI. Do you want to hear the offer, or do you want to maintain your not guilty plea and talk to an attorney before you decide what to do?
Hear the offer, ma'am?
Mr. Stevenson,
Oh, yes, the offer, Your Honor. We would be seeking an adjudication of guilt in this case. We would like 12 months of probation. Now, he could terminate that probation after 6 months if he got everything done. We'd be looking for an $1,000 fine. A 12-month...
Let me back up a moment. He blew under a .08?
He did blow under a .08, Your Honor.
And he says he's diabetic.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you take insulin or medication or just diet?
Just diet.
How do you know you're diabetic?
Excuse me, ma'am?
How do you know you're diabetic?
I have been to a doctor, and he told me. But I was supposed to go to a specialist to get it certified and everything, but I just haven't
If you're diabetic and you're not getting any help for that, you should not have any alcohol whatsoever.
I know, ma'am.
This said you said you had 2 beers and 4 to 5 shots?
Yes, ma'am. That was earlier during the night. By the time I had left, it was been maybe 2 to 3 hours since I have drinking anything when I left.
Have you gotten the results back from the urine screen?
Mr. Sandor, have we gotten those results?
No, Your Honor, I don't believe we've received the results.
Right. You should probably talk to an attorney before you decide what to do. You blew below the legal limit, saying you didn't have an illegal amount of alcohol in your system. But if you can't tolerate alcohol, then you shouldn't drink it at all.
Yes, ma'am.
But in this case, I think you were stopped for speeding, not for erratic driving.
Yes, ma'am.
So there are a lot of things going on here. You should probably talk to an attorney. If you don't want to talk to an attorney, you want to go ahead and plead guilty to driving under the influence of alcohol, we can sentence you. But I think you should talk to an attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, what?
I'll talk to an attorney.
Are you able to afford your own attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're present, and you're pleading not guilty, and you will talk to your own attorney. You'll need to bring something from the doctor saying that you're diabetic if you're going to be discussing that with your attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I think we'd be ready to deal with Mr. Mosby.
Oh, we got something? Okay. Could you make sure I got everything on this one? Mr. Mosby.
I think we can get rid of this case, Your Honor.
Get rid of it by dismissing it?
Dismiss it, yes.
Good job. Okay, hang on just a moment. Defendant is present, perfectly polite and patient, and dismiss per SAO. So I guess it was clean.
Yes, but as we always point out, just because we're dismissing something doesn't mean we're wholly convinced you didn't do it. It's just we don't think we could prove it. So in the event that you did know that was marijuana, don't do that again. We would not be thrilled if you came back.
Okay, wait for your paperwork.